Hi, I'm Hoor, my pronouns are she, her, I'm your Students' Union Wellbeing Officer, and this is my scrutiny video for Semester 1. So the first topic that I got asked about in the report was my sensory room project. Regarding this, the first question was about how I regulate it and how many people will use this room. So firstly, I want it to be a very accessible space for students to be able to feel comfortable in accessing whenever they want to use it, whenever they feel like they need a minute away. In terms of regulating the usage, I don't anticipate that it will ever be a room that's used much for events or anything like that. I want it to be a very social and chill out space. So I'm hoping that there won't be an issue with crowd control, but as with the other rooms that we have on the -1 floor of the Percy G building, staff and various Students' Union execs and your union team continue to kind of go around the building, and if there are any issues with overcrowding or anything like that, we would address that accordingly. With regards to how I'll ensure that it maintains its purpose. Again, I think that the idea behind it is that once the furniture and the kind of design and layout is done and it's meeting that sensory room brief that I have, I would like for it to be a very open space for students. And I think in terms of maintaining and continuing to meet its purpose, what I would hope is that students can continue giving feedback to me, and also that we can continue looking at best practice across the sector. There's not a lot of universities that offer that provision, but looking at other organisations that offer that and how we can build on the provision that I'm hoping to provide. The next question was, do I have a timescale for the room's implementation? This is something that is beyond my control and our control as a students' union, because estates need to get builders in to actually make that space fit for purpose for us to be able to use it and furnish it for the sensory room. So unfortunately, I do not have a timescale at present. However, I'm doing all I can, and we are doing all we can as a union to get this bumped up on their priority list, and I will of course keep you updated with any timescale updates, but I'm hoping it will be done before March. Moving on, the other topic that I was asked about was period poverty and my period product access initiatives. The first question was, what steps have I taken to make this program trans inclusive? I think firstly, one of the biggest areas that I'm looking at this year with regards to period poverty is rebranding the provision that we're currently using. So as you know, you see the Hey Girls branding on the products that we offer. This is a big priority of mine to change that, because I think using that gendered language is not inclusive. It creates barriers to usage. It excludes various sections of our student community, and I would like to change that and offer products that are not gendered, that are sustainable still, but do not have any of those barriers to usage and to kind of involvement with the initiative. I have identified a suitable replacement. However, as you can imagine, due to this being partly funded by the university, there are various processes that need to happen before the change can be made. So unfortunately, it's a slightly longer piece of work, but again, I will keep you updated, and I'm trying to get it done before the end of the year. Moving on, with regards to the second question about work being done to roll it out beyond women's only toilets, as far as I was aware, and as far as my conversations with estates who deal with the distribution of products and maintaining stock go, I have been told that these are available in gender neutral and accessible toilets as well. Please let me know if this isn't the case, and of course I'm very open to feedback, but generally this is something that I've always tried to underpin, and as far as I know, it's available in gender neutral toilets and accessible toilets as well. Also, we're trying to get it in more male toilets, again, to kind of combat that inclusivity barrier and access barrier. Of course, I'm open to feedback, so any ideas that you do have, any issues that you do have with things like stock, or if it's not available in the toilets that I've mentioned, please do let me know and we'll try to fix that. Moving on to campus safety and nights out. One of the first questions I got asked was, how do I plan to change the behaviour of staff who are external to the O2 and who work in the O2. Unfortunately, this is a wider piece of work that myself, Rockstar, and the O2 look at. As you can expect, with external security, there is not as much that we can do in terms of our control and our influence. However, any reports that we do get from students like yourselves, I escalate them and make sure that they are taken up by the relevant stakeholders from both the organisations, and of course any incidents with external security are dealt with appropriately. We're constantly looking at how we can solve that issue, because I know that it's something that students have always mentioned, and any updates on that I will bring to you. Again, I rely on your feedback to be able to raise that, so please do let me know if there are any issues from your side. With regards to drink stoppers, and what additional measures that I'm hoping to introduce beyond drink stoppers currently, I'm looking at trying to get testing kits available in the O2. Again, obviously, this is something that isn't a foolproof solution. We know that this does nothing to help tackle things like needle spiking, which obviously is a separate issue. But I'm hoping that the more provision we can have and the more we can have access to these things, the more students will feel safer and comfortable, and that we can get that conversation started about spiking, which I know that itself continues to carry a lot of stigma and a lot of discomfort and hesitation around. Apart from that, I'm also trying to raise awareness and get more better communication out about the medics that are on site at the O2, how you can access them, making sure that they are signposted clearly, and just making sure that you know of all the services that are available to you on your night out should anything go wrong. And we obviously hope it doesn't, but again, we rely on your feedback to really influence those changes and to really drive them home to those people behind kind of Rockstar and the O2. Moving on, with regards to raising awareness across the year, I'm currently working with University Security around a long-term comms redevelopment, where we put out more events talking about spiking, normalising and encouraging and educating on the use of things like stoppers, lids, things like tests. Again, getting you guys familiar with the security team that we have at the university, so that when you do see them on nights out, you know who they are, getting that conversation started about spiking, more looking at those who are spiking and the kind of criminal aspect of that, and kind of discouraging that behaviour, rather than obviously looking at those who have been on the receiving end. Obviously, again, trying to change that narrative and everything around that is a very sensitive issue, so I'm trying to take that quite slowly and make sure that I'm keeping student feedback in mind. Any ideas you do have, any events you'd like to see, any provisions you'd like to see, I'm very, very open to discussing them with the University Security. They are very on board, and so far I've been very receptive, so please do let me know. Any instance that you do report to us, we escalate to Rockstar and the O2. And so if you do have any issues on a night out and you are unsure of where to go, you can raise this with the OSU as a formal complaint, and we can escalate that. We can also put you in touch directly with the stakeholders who are involved if you'd like, but we are here to support you, and I hope that this answers your questions. If you do have any more questions, please do feel free to email me at su-wellbeing or DM me on Instagram at Lex Wellbeing, or pop into the office and say hi. Thank you, bye.